Well, a customer asked, how do you finish one of my reels? I sell these in a finished form, but I also sell them unfinished. You can finish it yourself and save, cost you half as much. But how do you finish it? I finish these with Boat Builder's epoxy, 2 coats, and spar varnish, 2 coats. That's what I do. You can do whatever you want. You can finish it with oil, like a linseed oil, if you want. It won't last very long. I want these to last a lifetime. So, because one, you want to waterproof the wood so it just won't rot. Right? If it's completely soaked and encased in epoxy, it's not going to rot. Right? And then when you protect it with spar varnish, it won't dry rot from the UV rays or UV damage, what we call dry rot down here in the South. A good place to look for finishing is look at how sometimes canoeists will order a custom canoe paddle unfinished and they'll finish it themselves. And a lot of times they will use oil. They just use oil because with a canoe paddle, if it's in your hands all the time, varnish can cause blisters when you're paddling all day, right? So you can oil it, but if you oil it like that, you're not going to be able to leave it out there on the boat and neglect it. You will have to bring it inside, keep it out of the rain, probably a couple of times a year, take the line off and recoat it with oil and stuff like that. So the problem with oil is it's high maintenance, right? I want it to be zero maintenance. Right? I ain't got time for all that, right? So what I do for these is the boat building epoxy and the varnish. About every 2 years, I will sand this down with 220 grit sandpaper, and then put 2 more coats of varnish on it, and I'm done. You do that once every year, maybe once every 2 years. All right. And that's just to get some of the surface gunk and stuff off. Aside from that, I don't have to do all that. Now, some people talk about shellac, but most any varnish, spar varnish, is going to be a superior finish. If all you did was put a spar varnish on this, it would last. But the thing about varnish is it's not perfectly waterproof, right? You can get it doesn't matter if the varnish is urethane or if it's polyurethane or if it's good old-fashioned oil-based varnish. It doesn't really matter. The main thing is you're trying to protect it from dry rot from the sun, and you're trying to waterproof it. Part of it too is impact resistance. See, if you're dropping the reel on the floor of the boat, it's going to get cracks in it. It's going to split. It's going to do all kinds, right? What the epoxy does is arrest the wood from moving. It just keeps it from moving. But it depends on how long you want it to last and how much maintenance you want to do from here on out and how many reels you want to buy from me, right? Right? Sure, go ahead and put oil on it. You can be buying a reel from me like every year if you want. Right? That's fine with me. But if you really want it to last a lifetime, buy one reel to last a lifetime. You go to Raka USA, RAKA.com, buy their boat builders epoxy. In fact, I would buy they have some surfboard epoxy that it's epoxy, but it also has UV inhibitors in it already. So you could theoretically just put 1 coat of that stuff on here and it would be fine, all right? Another option would be some of these UV cured epoxies that are also used in surfboards and things, where you just put 1 coat on it, set it out in the sun for 10 minutes, and it's perfectly cured. I mean, that would be ideal. In fact, that's what I would be using, but I have so much boat builders epoxy, I just can't justify just throwing all that away just to get something new. So I'll put some links in the description. Boat building, Duckworks, boat building supply for various epoxies and varnishes, things like that, if you really want to finish it yourself. It's good to have epoxy around the house anyway. It's just, you can, having your own epoxy, you can make your own JB Weld and things like that. That's what's good about epoxy. So That's that.